Hello friends, hi Lily, happy bank holiday. Whoever's tuned in, feel free to say hello if you can. Yeah, great. So hope you've all had a lovely time. Excuse the colour of my face, I just had a bath and I'm looking quite purple. But yeah, it wasn't intentional, not like an Easter tradition or anything like that. Yeah, great. So we will get cracking. The playlist, I'll quickly put it in the notes. It's actually the same as last week. It's a nice restorative one. If you've already got it from last week, then by all means, just pop it on. You'll want this for the first part of the class, the nice stretching, but I would recommend silence for the yoga nidra afterwards. Great, cool. Hello, everybody else who's just tuned in. So we will begin with our nice restorative stretchy sequence. So we'll begin by standing up, and we're going to do a little bit of a swingy, shouldery one. So standing up with your feet hips distance apart, and you're just going to swing and tap the opposite shoulder. You're going to do about 10 of these, just opening up the chest. This is actually a move from, I think it's Tai Chi or Qigong. It's all about opening up the meridians or the energy channels in the body. And just letting the arms be really loose, tapping the opposite shoulder. Just do a couple more, letting your head follow your hand. Kind of stretching down into the waist. And then coming to stillness. Bringing your feet a bit closer together. You're going to inhale your arms up. And with your right hand, take hold of your left wrist. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to lean over to the right. Take a nice big inhale here. And exhale up. Swap hands. Grab your right wrist. Inhale. Exhale over to the left. Inhale. And exhale up. Let's do one more round. Take hold of your left wrist. Inhale. And exhale over to the right. Inhale. Exhale up. Grab your right wrist. Inhale. Exhale over to the left. Inhale. And exhale up. And release the arms. Lovely. And we're going to do a little bit of a hanging forward bend. So for this one, you're going to take your feet to hips width apart, ground into your feet, and then you're just going to let your whole top half of the body be really loose. You're going to be hanging here for actually a couple of minutes. So if your hands don't reach the floor, it can help just to have something to rest them on, either a cushion or a book. It's better if you can not to be floating in midair. But it's also not the end of the world. You just feel a bit more supported if you've got your hands on something. So we're going to stay here for at least 2 minutes. And this is a move just called dangling, and it's from Yin Yoga, which is all about you get in a position and then you stay for a long time, and it opens up into the web of fascia around the muscles. So you're not just getting a muscle stretch, but you're stretching out the tendons and the ligaments. And this is a brilliant hamstring stretch if you've been doing any kind of exercise this weekend. And even if you haven't, it's still a great hamstring stretch. Sending the breath all the way down the backs of the legs. And paying some attention to your feet as well. See if you can spread the weight across your feet even more evenly. So if you find that your weight buckles inwards, try and bring a little bit more awareness to the outside blades of the feet. It's just something to experiment with. And trying to keep the awareness inside the body, not completely checking out. Allowing the neck to be heavy and long and loose. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll up in extra slow motion. Try and do it to the count of 15 breaths. So it's as slowly as you can, letting the head be the very last thing that comes up. Like a zombie rising from the dead. Lovely, nice and easy. And when the head has unfurled at the top, we're going to come to all fours on your mat. So making sure that the knees are underneath the hips and the hands are underneath the shoulders. And we'll come through a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So on an inhale, you're going to let the tailbone lift, dip into the back and let the head lift up. Then as you exhale, pressing into the hands, curving through the back and letting the tailbone sink. Inhale, tailbone lift, and the nose is the last thing that comes up. Exhale, pressing into the hands, the tailbone sinks. Do 2 more rounds in your own time. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And if you want to come into any more of like a swooping cat and cow, you take your seat back to your heels and then bring the weight forward into the forearms, almost like you're trying to drag your chin along the mat. And inhaling back up. Maybe take 1 more of those. Or even making a kind of S shape with the body. Just do a bit more of a stretch here, whatever feels good for you, taking the weight into the right hand, taking the weight into the left hand, just limbering up through the hips. And then when you're ready, finding stillness. And we're going to come into thread the needle. So on an inhale, you're going to lift your right palm up, gazing up at the fingertips. Then as you exhale, you're going to loop your right arm all the way through the left, resting the right cheek on the ground and keeping the hips high. You're going to breathe down the right side of the body for 5 nice, long, deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale all the way down into the waist. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. And inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale all the way back up, stretching your fingertips up at the top. And exhale the right hand down. We'll do the left hand. Inhaling the left arm up, gazing up at the fingertips. Exhale, threading the left hand under, resting on the left cheek, stabilizing yourself with the right hand, keeping the hips high, and breathing down the left side of the body for 5 nice, big, deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale down and in between the ribs. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale all the way back up. Take a stretch at the top. And exhale the hand back down. And from here, we're going to take just one downward dog, just to stretch out the body. So on an inhale, tuck the toes. And as you exhale, you're going to lift up the hips, pushing into downward facing dog. And just walk out the dog. It's nice to stretch out the back body, stretch out the front body, making sure that the fingers are spread really wide. The elbow creases are rolling towards each other, but the shoulder blades are smoothing down the back away from each other. And then here we're looking for a straight spine rather than straight legs. So taking a bend in the knees if you need to, lifting up through the hips, but feeling a nice lengthening sensation down the back body, as well as down the front body. We'll stay here for 2 more nice, big, strong breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. On an inhale, you're going to lift your right leg up and out behind you, coming into 3-legged dog. Then as you exhale, you're going to bring your right knee towards your right hand, coming into pigeon pose, and your right foot towards your left hand, lengthening your left leg out behind you, squaring the hips, and then relaxing yourself forward, allowing the forehead to rest on the ground, or if that's a bit too strong, just staying up on the forearms. We're going to stay here for 10 breaths, really sending the breath into the front of the left hip, and sending the breath into the right glute. And again, trying to keep the awareness inside the experience of the body. And imagine sending the breath all the way down to the bottom of your left big toe. And sending the breath all the way up into the fingertips. And just seeing if there's anything that you can let go of that you might have been holding on to this weekend, either in your physical body or anything that's accumulated elsewhere. And take one more nice long inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands back towards you. And if it feels good, just swinging your right leg back and up behind you, coming into 3-legged dog. And bringing the right foot down. And then inhaling the left leg up and out behind you. As you exhale, bringing the left knee towards the left hand and the left foot towards the right hand. Settling into pigeon on this side. And if you find you're much tighter in one hip or the other, then you can thread the needle instead. Whichever feels good for you to hold for 10 breaths. Settling into the hips. And just noticing how it feels on the left side of the body or the right. Coming in to thread the needle. Sending the breath all the way down the right side of the body and all the way down right into the toes. And really allowing yourself to feel supported by the floor. Staying here for 3 more nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, gently walking your hands back towards you and sweeping your left leg up, coming into your 3-legged dog. And then bringing the left foot down, coming into downward facing dog. And then you're going to bring the knees down to the ground. And then you're going to come to seated. So either just swinging the legs round. And we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's lying down butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet to touch and allowing the knees to fall out to the sides. And just lowering the back to the ground and releasing the back of the head, opening out through the inner groins. So the top half of the body should be completely relaxed. If you feel that your neck might be bunching up on the ground, then just tucking your chin a little bit more to the chest and elongating the neck. And the palms can either rest on the ground, face up, or you can rest them on the stomach or the ribs. And if this feels really strong on the legs or the back of the glutes, then you can always shuffle your feet a little bit further away from your pubic bone. And this is a good counterbalance to the pigeon pose that we just did, as here we're opening out through the back of the hips and into the inner groins. So stretching the opposite pair of muscles. And in the energetic body, this is all about our Swadhisthana chakra, our second chakra up, represented by an orange light. And this is all to do with our sense of taste, I believe, our sexuality, our creativity, and our urinary works, the water works of the body, is all this chakra. And staying here for 3 more nice big breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to bring your knees together. And you're going to come into a little bridge pose. So make sure that your feet are hips distance apart and that you can reach them with your fingertips. And then on an inhale, you're going to lift up through the lower back, middle back, and upper back, interlacing the hands underneath the back and walking the shoulder blades towards each other. And we'll stay here for 5 breaths. Try and get the chest towards the chin rather than the chin towards the chest. Opening out into this is a nice back, a kind of a back bend or a chest opener. And in yoga, in the energetic body, this is all to do with the heart chakra, the center of our compassion. Just keeping the awareness at the heart center or the chest. And when you're ready, just gently lowering upper back, middle back, lower back, and allowing the knees to fall together, just to release the lower back. I'm going to come into a little supine twist. So you have a couple of options here. Either crossing the right leg over the left, and then taking you can either keep both legs together at the chest and take them over to the right side, or you can hook the left leg over the right and take the knees over to the right side. But either way, you want to make sure that your knees are at hip height. So whatever enables you to feel a good twist into the spine, but without stressing the knees or the legs, and gazing out over the left shoulder. Sending the breath all the way down the left side of the body. And these twisting poses are all about rinsing out toxins from the spine. So you can just imagine yourself being wrung out like a flannel, rinsing out all of the weekend's toxins, leaving you clean and rinsed and fresh. Staying here for 5 more nice deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. And then when you're ready, bringing the legs back to center and uncrossing them if they were crossed, and taking the twist on the other side. So either hooking the right foot over the right leg over the left, or keeping the knees together at hip height and just taking them over to the left side and gazing over the right shoulder. Whatever's going to allow you to experience a good twist. But ideally not having your knee floating in space. Yeah, is that okay? And if you want to bring your left hand on the top of your right thigh, that can help just to keep you anchored into place. Sending the breath all the way down into the right side of the body. And into the left side of the body. And in the energetic body, this is our Manipura chakra. You can imagine a yellow light at the solar plexus. And it's all to do with our guts, our digestive system, and things like our confidence, our gut feelings. And it's good to practice these nice deep twists because it releases any tension from that area. And just seeing if there's a little bit more space that you can move into, again without stressing or straining. Just sinking into that nice big twist. Staying for 2 more nice big breaths. And when you're ready, coming back to neutral. And if your legs were interlaced, just releasing the interlock. We're going to close the little shoulder stand. So taking the knees towards your head, lifting up the lower back and supporting it with your hands into the bottom of the spine, then lifting up the hips, extending through the legs. And try to imagine walking the backs of your arms towards each other. And if you find your hands slipping towards your bum, then just walking them further down the back. Try not to turn the neck. Staying here for 5 more nice big deep breaths. Sending the breath into the throat chakra, the center of our communication, and representing the voice we use to speak to ourselves. And when you're ready, using your arms as brakes, bringing your knees to your forehead and then bringing yourself down one vertebrae at a time, releasing the back to the floor. Stretching the legs out, and we'll come into a fish pose just to counterbalance. So bringing the legs together, pressing up onto the forearms and the top of the head, coming into fish pose, just to release the chest. Staying for 3 more nice big deep breaths. And when you're ready, sliding out of your fish pose, releasing the arms. And we're going to make our way into our Shavasana, the final resting pose. So if you want to grab a blanket or an eye mask or have a little sip of water, turn the music off. We've got about a minute or so of faff time. Okay. Okay, wonderful. So now we will begin our Yoga Nidra. So let's start by giving everything a nice big squeeze and a release. So on an inhale, squeezing the feet, squeezing the calves, the thighs, the buttocks, the stomach, the hands, squeezing the ribs, the shoulders, the face, the jaw, squeeze everything and release. And let's do 1 more of those. So on an inhale, squeezing the feet, the calves, the shins, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks, squeezing the stomach, the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the jaw, the face, squeeze, 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 and release. And taking a nice long inhale and a nice big sigh. Just letting go. of anything that may have come before this moment, and letting go of anything that may come after this. And getting a sense of your whole body relaxing on the ground. And taking a couple more nice long deep breaths. And imagine breathing all the way up from the feet, up the legs, the sides of the body, into the top of the head. Imagining the whole breath filling the body. And taking the awareness now into the sounds that you can hear nearby. Maybe the sound of your own heartbeat. Maybe the sound of birds. Possibly the sound of traffic. And without getting caught up in the story of the sounds, just imagine brushing over each sound lightly with your awareness. And now taking your awareness even wider and seeing how many sounds you can notice in the distance, as though you had bat hearing and that you could hear sounds miles away. Notice what you can hear. Taking the awareness as wide and as subtle as you can. And now coming back into the experience of the whole body, lying supported on the ground. And just imagine that with every breath, you feel your body becoming even more relaxed. Nothing more to do and nowhere to go, but just to sink into this present moment. And we're going to go further in. So with each part of the body I name, you'll feel that part of you completely relax. And we'll start with the right side of the body. So starting with the right hand, right thumb, index finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right palm. The right hand is relaxed. Right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right shoulder, and coming over the top into the right pec, down and in between the right ribs. Down into the right side of the stomach. Down into the right hip. Down into the right thigh. Down into the right knee. Into the right shin. Down the front of the right foot. Into the right big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. And fifth toe. The whole right side of the body is completely relaxed. And coming into the left side of the body, starting with the left hand, the left thumb, left index finger, left third finger, left fourth finger, and left fifth finger. The left palm, the left hand is relaxed. Coming into the left wrist, the left elbow, the left shoulder, coming up and over into the left pec, down and in between the left ribs, into the left side of the stomach. Down into the left hip, down the front of the left thigh, down into the left knee, down the front of the left shin, down the front of the left foot, into the left big toe, left second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. The whole left side of the body is completely relaxed. Then travelling up the back of the body, up the back of the soles of both feet, into the backs of the ankles, into the back of the calves, into the back of the knees, into the back of the thighs, into the buttocks, feeling the space where the lower back doesn't quite meet the ground. It gently curves. Coming into the middle back. Up the back of the shoulder blades. Across the tops of the shoulders. into the back of the neck. Up and over the back of the head. Smoothing across the forehead. Into the eyebrows. The eyelids. The nostrils. The lips. The jaw. And down into the body. Feeling all parts of you completely relaxed, lying on the ground. And we're going to go a little bit deeper, resting the awareness now at the heart center, the seat of your compassion. Call to mind something or someone in your life that you're grateful for right now. Can be something very small, can be something all-encompassing. Just identifying that spark of gratitude and imagine sending the breath in and out of that feeling at the heart center, whether it's big or little. With each breath, you're able to sink a little bit deeper. And we'll go a little bit further in again, tapping into our imagination and our intuition. So sinking into that feeling, in your mind's eye, you see yourself coming into a garden. It might be a garden you know, or it might be a new garden, something of your own creation. But as you walk into the garden, You notice the sensations underfoot. Maybe it's the coolness of grass, or maybe it's warm and dry. Maybe the sound of gravel underfoot. And as you walk into the garden, even if it's a completely new garden, you feel completely at home, completely at ease. And you notice that the garden is warm and temperate. Perhaps you feel the sun on your face. And you start to explore a bit further. And you start to walk towards some flowers. What colour are the flowers? And what kind of flowers? Maybe they have wide, flat petals, or maybe they're thin. Maybe you reach out to touch one of the flowers, or even to smell it. And as you look up from the flowers, you notice a glowing light just a little bit further into the garden. And you start to walk towards it. And perhaps there are some trees around this glowing light, or maybe some tall grass, maybe a bush. But you push through the undergrowth and it opens out into a little clearing. And the glowing light turns out to be a flame, warm and beckoning, and you're quite captivated. And as you stare at the flame, you notice that you become even more relaxed, as though being near the flame is charging you up, pouring its light energy into your whole body. And the irresistible warmth of the flame is spreading over you, permeating every cell and every pore with its warmth and its radiant light. Maybe you see some different colours in the flame. Flickering like an opal, And the sight of the flame is so irresistible that you actually stand inside it, knowing that you're quite safe and feeling the warmth and the glow of the flames rising up. This flame is your internal heart space. The flame of your creativity. And with every breath, you feel the warmth and the light and the energy of the flame permeating all the way through you, feeding your inspiration and allowing you to feel quite restored. Staying here for just a few more breaths, enveloped in the warm radiance of your own internal flame. And then stepping out of the flame. And feeling totally recharged. And knowing that this is a place that you can come back to whenever you need to ignite your inspiration. And then sending a little inward thanks for the flame and its radiance. You walk back through the garden, pushing your way back through the trees, the bushes. And on your way back, you pass the flowers. And you walk, noticing the texture of the grass or the gravel underfoot. And as you reach the edge of the garden, you have one last look around, feeling a sense of familiarity and of comfort. And then as you leave the garden, you come back first into the heart center and the sensations of the chest. And you start to come back into the whole body lying on the ground, and the weight of your physical form supported by the ground below. And then taking your awareness into your sense of hearing, into the sounds that you can hear nearby, and into the sounds that you can hear far away. Sounds in your real experience. And with each sound that you notice, you become even more aware of yourself and your surroundings and your physical body lying on the ground. And as I count back from 10, you'll come back completely into your body in this moment. So starting with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, gently bring some movement back into the fingers and toes. And when it feels good, taking a nice big deep breath. And a nice big stretch with the arms overhead. And stretching down into the toes, into the feet. And when you're ready, gently rolling over onto the right side. And gathering yourself up here for a moment. And when you're ready, gently pushing yourself up into a seated position where we began. And we'll finish the practice. Actually, just noticing first how you feel in your physical body, in your energy levels, in your emotional states, and in your mind. And searching for any feelings of peace or bliss we may have cultivated through the practice of Yoga Nidra. And making a promise to ourselves to take any of that peace or spaciousness and share it with the other people in our lives off the mat afterwards. And drawing the hands to touch at the heart center, and we'll close with one resonant Om. Feel free to join in, but don't worry if you don't feel like it, but it's nice if you do. Inhale. Hands to the heart center, love to all, palms to the lips, peace to all, palms to the third eye, light to all. May you always be blessed. Namaste. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody, and for your attention, and I hope you had a lovely Yoga Nidra practice. I'll put the link for Monzo on the page. If you're not earning or not earning much at the moment, then don't worry at all. Just good to keep up your practice. And if you are earning, then I'll be giving 50% of all proceeds to St. Mungo's homeless charity. And hope you all have wonderful evenings and feel nicely rested. and have a wonderful start to the week. I'll be putting my timetable online and hope to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Jiva Mukti Yoga. Thanks, bye.